Thank you. Okay. So, today we have the best of the verses. There are many such, but yeah. So shall we sing together first? Yes? Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jamuna Tera Vanachari Tera Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hare Ranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hare Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, thank you for being here. and giving me the opportunity to serve you in this way. And before we start with reading the verse, please be so kind and bestow your best blessings upon me, so that what we speak today is of the benefit to everyone who is present. So we are reading the famous verse, right? The one yesterday was also famous, and this one is similarly famous. It is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. We are in the 5th canto, and we are in the 18th chapter, so we are hearing about the different parts of Jambudvip and the residents of those parts and how they worship the Supreme Lord. And now we are at the part where we have Prahlad Maharaj speaking. So let's hear the verse. This is the time when I have to go like this. I'm getting older. Just a moment. Swastyastu vishvasya kala prasidatam. Swastyastu vishvasya kala prasidatam. Jayantu bhutani shivam mitodya. Manascha badram bhajatatadoksaje. Aveshyatam no matir apyahaituki. So before I ask some of you to repeat the verse, I will actually read the translation so that we hear what we are saying today, and then let us very consciously again sing the verse together. So please listen to the translation. Prahlad Maharaj is praying, "May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Shri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of Him." So now with even maybe better understanding of what we are actually saying when we are reading the Sanskrit, maybe now we can have some of you chanting the verse, then we will all repeat after that person, and then please gather all your devotional sentiments into your heart and offer this prayer for the benefit of the whole universe, as Prahlad Maharaj has done it. So if one of the Prabhus would like to chant. Swastyastu vishvasya kala prasidatam. Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mitodya. Manascha badram bhajatatadoksaje. Aveshyatam no matir apyahaituke. Swastyastu vishvasya kala prasidatam. Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mitodya. Manascha badram bhajatatadoksaje. Aveshyatam no matir apyahaituke. Swastyastu vishvasya kala prasidatam. Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mitodya. Manascha Badram Bhajata Dadokshaje Aveshatam Namatirapyahaituke. Vaishnavis.
Sorry, my writing is not so
Swasyastu Swasyastu Vishwasya Kala Prasidatam
Swastiastu Vishvasya Kala Prasidatam
Jayantu Bhutani Shivamitodia
Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodaya
Manascha Badram Bhajata Dadokshaje
Manascha Badram Bhajata Dadokshaje
Aveshyatam no Matirapyahaituki
Aveshatam no Matir Apyahaituke. So let's hear word by word translation. Swasti, auspiciousness. Astu, let there be. Vishvasya, of the entire universe. Kalaha, the envious, almost everyone. Prasidatam, let him be pacified. Dhyayantu, let him consider. Bhutani, all the living entities. Shivam, auspiciousness. Mitaha, mutual. Diya, by their intelligence. Manaha, the mind. Cha, and. Padram, calmness. Bhajatat, let it experience. Adokshaje, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond the perception of mind, intelligence, and senses. Who is beyond the perception of mind, intelligence, and senses. Aveshyatam, let it be absorbed. Na, our. Matihi, intelligence. Api, indeed. Ahaituki, without any motive. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga, for by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Shri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of Him. So, let us hear the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So please be very attentive. It's a bit longer purport, and I would like that we have a discussion after that. So if you're not attentive now, then there might not be something to discuss together. The following verse describes a Vaishnava. Please join me. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Just like a desire tree, a Vaishnava can fulfill all the desires of anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Prahlad Maharaj is a typical Vaishnava. He prays not for himself, but for all living entities, the gentle, the envious, and the mischievous. He always thought of the welfare of mischievous persons like his father, Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj did not ask for anything for himself. Rather, he prayed for the Lord to excuse his demoniac father. This is the attitude of a Vaishnava who always thinks of the welfare of the entire universe. What did Prabhupada said? For whom the Vaishnava prays? For all living entities? He said, for the gentle, envious, and even the mischievous ones, all of them. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Dharma are meant for the persons who are completely free of envy. Parama Nirmatsaran. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays in this verse, Kala prasidata, may all envious persons be pacified. The material world is full of envious persons, but if one frees himself of envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealings and can think of others' welfare. Anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness and engages himself completely in the service of the Lord cleanses his mind of all envy. Manascha Badram Bhajatad Adokshache. Therefore, we should pray to Lord Nisimhadev to sit in our hearts. We should pray, Bahir Nisimho, Hridaye Nisimho. Let Lord Nisimhadev sit in the core of my heart, killing all my bad propensities. Let my mind become clean so that I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us a very fine purport in this regard. Whenever one offers a prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one always requests some benediction from him. Even pure Nishkam devotees pray for some benediction as instructed by Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtaka. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitamam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stiti Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from the ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. In another prayer, Lord Chaitanya says, Mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhaktira haitukitvahi. Life after life, kindly let me have unalloyed love and devotion at your Lordship's lotus feet. When Prahlad Maharaj chants Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya, he prays for a benediction from the Lord, but because he is also an exalted Vaishnava, he wants nothing for his personal sense gratification. The first desire expressed in his prayer is Svastyastu Vishvasya. Let there be good fortune throughout the entire universe. Prahlad Maharaj thus requested the Lord to be merciful to everyone, including his father, a most envious person. According to Chanakya Pandit, there are two kinds of envious living entities. One is a snake, and the other is the man like Hiranyakashipu, who is by nature envious of everyone, even of his father or son. Hiranyakashipu was envious of his little son Prahlad, but Prahlad Maharaj asked a benediction for the benefit of his father. Hiranyakashipu was very envious of devotees, but Prahlad wished that his father and other demons like him would give up their envious nature by the grace of the Lord and stop harassing the devotees. Kalaha prasidatam. The difficulty is that Kala, the envious living entity, is rarely pacified. One kind of Kala, the snake, can be pacified simply by mantras or by the action of a particular herb. Mantro shadi vashaha sarva kalakena nivaryate. An envious person, however, cannot be pacified by any means. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays that all envious persons may undergo a change of heart and think of the welfare of others. So what is Prahlad Maharaj praying? That all envious persons become pacified by devotional service and specifically to undergo change of the heart. If Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, and if by grace of Krishna everyone accepts it, the thinking of envious people will change. Everyone will think of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays, Shiva Mitodya. In material activities, everyone is envious of others, but in Krishna consciousness, no one is envious of anyone else. Everyone thinks of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays. What is he praying? He's praying that everyone's mind may become gentle by being fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna, bhajatada dakshate. As indicated elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai Manaha Krishna Padarabindaya, and is advised that by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 1865, Manmana Pava Madbhakta, one should constantly think of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Then one's mind will certainly be cleansed. Chetadarpanamarjana. Materialists always think of sense gratification, but Prahlad Maharaj prays that the Lord's mercy will change their minds and they will stop thinking of sense gratification. If they think of Krishna always, everything will be all right. Listen to that. If they think of Krishna always, everything will be all right. Some people argue that if everyone thought of Krishna in that way, the whole universe would be vacated because everyone would go back home, back to Godhead. However, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this is impossible because the living entities are innumerable. If one set of living entities is actually delivered by the Krishna consciousness movement, another set will fill the entire universe. So, let's offer our prayers, asking for blessings and for guidance, so you can please join me. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Manchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, thank you very much for joining me. since the purport we had was long, and since I anyway usually plan way more than I can actually speak about, today I tried to be very modest with my plans. Thank you for whoever brought this. I thank you very much. But let's see, because I would like that we have at least a bit of time for some discussion. So here, Prahlad Maharaj, in the previous verse you heard yesterday also that Prahlad Maharaj was praying maybe a prayer that is a bit more personal. He's offering his obeisances to Lord Nrsimhadev. And he prayed in a way also for himself. But then in this verse, he's obviously praying, he says it himself, for the whole universe, for everyone. So when we think of this prayer, when we read it, immediately to my mind, the examples come of other devotees who were in this mood. And the first one that came to my mind was, sorry, yes, please say. Yeah, that's what we want. Please say. Who was it?
Not Jesus Christ.
Not Jesus Christ, somehow. No, not. But one could. But actually, Prabhupada mentions Jesus Christ in purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where is this person of whom I was thinking of. Yes, Vasudev Datta. Because he was actually... Yes. He's the Prahlad Maharaj in Chaitanya Lila. And Prabhupada mentions Jesus Christ in the purport and says, like, look at this, Vasudev Datta or Prahlad Maharaj. He's praying for the whole universe. He's not putting any conditions like those who are in our tradition, or his, like, as we heard in the purport by Prabhupada, he said, everyone, the gentle, the envious, and the mischievous, everyone is included. So I was thinking, yes, of Vasudev Datta. And then I was thinking further of one other devotee who is very known to us and is sitting together with us here. Yes, Srila Prabhupada is also sitting here. I remember that instance, devotees are describing that at one instance, Prabhupada was driving, they were driving him earlier in the morning. They were going somewhere with the car, and he was seated, and then they passed, I believe, a factory, and they saw many people who were just coming to work. They were going to work. And Prabhupada actually shed few tears, and he said to the devotees who were with him in the car, he said, look at them. They are so engrossed in material life. They have no spiritual understanding and knowledge. And his heart was in pain when he observed that. And that reminds me of another devotee who is no one else but Krishna himself, in a bit different mood as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who came and he gave 3 principles of devotional life, right? Starting with Namaruchi, taste for the holy name, and then Vaishnava Seva, service to the devotees, and then you said already, then the last one is Jiva Doya. It's the compassion to the all living entities. And this is what we actually hear here. This prayer is exactly that, is the manifestation of that compassion felt for all the living entities. So that's why I was thinking of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You wanted to say something?
Every time you move the microphone, there's a sound.
Okay, I'll try not to do it. My husband is so kind to instruct me. Yes, I'm not so good with these things. Okay, good. I thought of another devotee. I thought of many, just to see how important is this, and that actually many of the devotees whom we read and hear about, they will have a certain quality in their heart. And I remembered Arjuna, and Prabhupada actually says in the purport, in the first chapter, Prabhupada says that Arjuna, being a great devotee of the Lord, has the quality of being soft-hearted. He has soft-heartedness. And that's why yes? Or you have something else in mind? Tell me.
No, it's just interesting that sometimes Prabhupada criticizes that, implies a weakness, and then he glorifies it also.
It's interesting because there are different purposes. On one side, it's definitely a quality, at least the way I understand it, it's the quality that is worthy of praise and admiration, because he is a great devotee of the Lord and he's having that soft-heartedness. On the other hand, we will criticize it or look upon it a bit in a negative light, just because Arjuna is there to fulfill a purpose, because Krishna wants to speak something so important right there in between two armies on the battlefield where all the eyes of the whole world are present. And then Arjuna, for the purpose of that, he will manifest this seemingly wrong understanding, right? So there are different things. Then there are so many more examples. I thought of Krishna himself, actually in a different form, but Krishna still, as Lord Ramachandra, who was, such a hero, a warrior, and who spent, 14 years in exile. He was in the forest and eating roots and fruits, and, he did, in other words, he could do such tapasya for such a long time. And then there is instance, for me, the most wonderful instance in the whole Ramayana, where he meets a lady who was turned into a stone. I don't know if you know the story. Ahilya is a lady. She once did something wrong, and Gautama Muni cursed her, and she was turned into a stone. And Ramachandra meets that stone at one point, and he hears the whole story. And this warrior, this hero, he's so moved, and he starts crying, and then he delivers her with his blessings. And also Arjuna, also the great warrior, Kshatriya, Kshatriya, you can maybe know how Kshatriyas are, and how they are trained and so on. And Arjuna, when he decided not to fight, he actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in his commentary to Bhagavad Gita, that he was actually crying also. So there is that soft-heartedness. And then not only Krishna himself, but even someone whom he worships is also equally soft-hearted. Yes, Srimati Radharani. There is a story of a jackal that was harassed by the Brijbasi boys. And they chased the jackal, and jackal went into a hole in the ground, and then the boys, they put a fire for the hole, and the jackal was crying, screaming, in the jackal way. And Srimati Radharani heard that, and she could not tolerate that. Even the jackal, she couldn't tolerate. So she sent Lalita Devi, who came disguised as an old woman. She chased away the boys, and then actually Radharani gave the highest blessings to the jackal, to an animal. So the jackal received the body of a gopi and eternal spiritual service and position. Imagine that, just a jackal, not even in the human form of life. So that's one thing actually that I was focusing on when I wanted to speak of these words, because there are so many things that one can pull out from the purport and speak about. And one could also speak about the envy and how we deal with the envy. But as I mentioned, I believe, when I was here last time, sometimes we focus too much on the negative. And we look, it's important to be introspective, to understand things, to have also someone, a very close friend or mentor, to point out to these negative qualities and how to work with them. But it's even more important to invest in a positive way, because bhakti path is not the path of anartha nivritti. It's much more the path of, as we say, artha pravritti. I translate it as positive engagement. Don't know if the Sanskrit scholars would agree with me, but it's the cultivation of values, of qualities, rather than focusing on the negative. So that's why I focused on this soft-heartedness, because even Prabhupada, he says in his purport towards the end, he says that Prahlad Maharaj was praying that everyone's mind may become gentle, may become soft. Yeah. And the softness of the heart seems to be a prerequisite that is needed for someone to start Krishna conscious practice. Prabhupada said at one point that before we give philosophy to the people, first their hearts need to be softened because they are not ready yet. So it's a prerequisite to start with the devotional practice, but at the same time, it's also the end result of our devotional practice. It just going, it increases with time, with practice, with engagement. So we also have like Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He explains how bhava transforms into prem, and prem is the highest. It's what we all desire and aspire to. And the translation of the verse is, when bhava completely softens the heart, then prema manifests fully, completely softens the heart. So this quality of soft heart is necessary at the beginning, and at the end it just increases, and that's why I thought it's so important. And that's why I would like to ask you now, what softens the heart? In your personal experience, what softens the heart?
Listening about Krishna?
Yes, listening about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, right? That's the best of all practices. And even just a bit further, and now we are in the verse 9, and I believe in the verse 11, we will hear that. Just a moment, I have to find it. Yes. So, just one part of the verse. You will speak about it in the next few days. So, for a person who constantly and very eagerly hears narrations of the Lord's powerful activities, the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead in the form of sound vibrations enters within his heart and cleanses it of all contaminations. And when the heart is cleansed, it becomes soft. So, hearing about Krishna is one thing. What is some more? More. Book distribution. How is that cleansing the heart?
Because it's mission of Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so the softness of heart is built in this mission. So if we don't have such tolerance for people, we just join this movement and gradually it will come.
Do you have practical experience in Sankirtan? So that I'm asking because I can understand from what you just said that you have practical experience, because Prabhupada was saying that Sankirtan will soften the heart, being joined into that movement. And you actually said one particular thing, that even if we don't tolerate people, we will learn, or with Sankirtan, right? So now the Sankirtan time is coming, right? We have the marathon, so this verse is your personal inspiration, if you like so, for Sankirtan movement. Yes, Sankirtan. Something else? Mm-hmm. Who? Yeah, please.
Yesterday I was watching this video of the Rajvasis, Radha Kripa, some Mataji, she's going there to distribute food, prashadam to them.
Yes.
And it was just so touching. I don't know what exactly, but just the simplicity that you see the Rajvasis, how they just satisfied chanting Hare Krishna. And then as much as speaking about this, how that's the goal of all of us. And it's so simple, but it really just melted the heart just seeing the scenes of Rajvasis.
Right.
And it's very interesting how I
One cannot explain, or?
and I didn't expect, but it was just coming.
Wonderful. Yeah. Observing the Brijvasis, how they deal, and also distributing prasadam, right? Because you're actually doing something for the benefit of others, and it's mysterious how that happens.
Or just the association of devotees who have the soft heart.
Yes, another point, another one. So the association with those who have soft hearts. So we have 3 points here, actually, right? So distributing prasad and associating with devotees who have soft hearts, and also often observing Brijbasis with their simplicity. And this simplicity is also very much a quality of a soft heart. It will be also a very simple heart. It will not ask why and what. Like sometimes when you go to Brijbasi house, they will not ask you where are you coming from or what do you do. They will start rolling rotis and they will offer to you, right? It's very simple. Much love is there. Dinadale, you wanted?
The point was just now stolen, and I wrote a
Ah! Yes, please.
Yeah, in one sense, the association is the most effective. Affects us and influences us. Somebody who is selfless and kind and compassionate, if see that it really makes us to introspect.
Yes, yes.
Impressive.
And it also, it works in mysterious ways also, because you even had the association only through video, and yet you were impacted in such a way. So yes, association of those who have such hearts, it's maybe, I would also agree with you, maybe the most powerful, right? Paul? Yes, please. Suffering.
But if you can
It's a good point.
fall in, if you don't fall in the trap of becoming bitter.
Yes, if you don't fall in the trap of becoming bitter. This is obviously my husband, because we think in similar ways. I would very much agree with him. So suffering can extremely soften the heart. So even if everything else doesn't, this life and suffering will do it. And sometimes, and as he's saying, one needs to be, as I think it was Dostoevsky said, he said, the thing that I dread the most, that I dread it, I'm like, just not this, is not to be worthy of my suffering. In other words, to suffer and not to recognize the opportunity that is in that suffering, to actually learn. And the most what happens when you suffer properly is for the heart to soften. And not only I would add to that, not only when we suffer, I personally experience it softens the heart very much when someone close to us suffers. Maybe even more than our own suffering. When we see someone close to us suffering, it just melts the heart. Especially when we cannot do much or anything to help. It's, again, I'm touching, sorry. So I would agree with that. If you don't agree, or you please think about it on your own. And maybe you're too young still to understand what we are speaking of. Yes, please.
Well, what's the point of Dostoevsky? So if you're worth suffering, then it means that you actually learn something from it.
Like if to be worthy, like if you just suffer through it and you don't actually learn anything through it, because suffering is not for no reason. Every suffering is there to bring us from being, to some extent, selfish to being more selfless. So to be more loving, more compassionate, more understanding. And if we don't see that opportunity and if we don't use it, then we're not worthy of that suffering. Yes, please.
Because there's the chance of falling in the victim role. It's like, why me? Why do life is not fair. I don't deserve this. And that tends to, there you don't take any take out of it. You're just stuck in thinking, why should I should have pleasure surfing a gold tablet, like, why do I have to suffer?
So, someone else? Yes. So, what does that mean?
If we chant holy name, if we get a lot of kirtan, some big festival, or even
Yes.
we feel
Yes.
really
Yes. Yes. So chanting the holy name, how? Attentively. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, with affectionate respect. So there are two components to that. One is respect, which when you respect someone, you will give attention. You won't be inattentive when someone whom you respect comes into your audience, right? Like into your presence. So respect, and with affection, with some feeling, right? So there is chanting of the holy name, then kirtan together, sankirtan together with others. festival. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said that festivals are mother of devotion, right? Because again, we are there in the association of many who might have that soft-heartedness. Some other point that you would have? Or yes, please.
Regretfulness, remorse.
Remorse.
May soften.
Yeah, may soften when we've done something that we regret, and then that regret, yes, I agree very much with you. Yeah, regret.
It's connected to the association of devotees, but if you see advanced devotees interact, it's always like
Yes,
suffering the heart.
yes,
How much love they have for each other and how they serve
yes,
each other. It's so sweet, but nothing else.
yes. Actually, I just read recently, I cannot give you now the exact reference where I read it, but Prabhupada was saying that simply seeing a pure devotee will soften the heart. And that's exactly what you're speaking, and especially then when they're interacting.
The more the better.
Yeah, the more the better. Right. Exactly. Or if you are able, maybe sometimes you're somewhere where some intimate exchange between them, intimate in the sense very personal, maybe just one-on-one takes place, not before many people, but something, to some extent private to them, and you are maybe able to be there and to witness that, so you see that heart shining through, right? So, some other? I would add one, because like seeing a pure devotee, I was also thinking of that, because it's very, just a moment that I say, but, or, yeah, you want to?
I just had an inspiration now, and it's not based on Shastra,
Brajraj. Oh, actually, it is very much based on Shastra. I will tell you now. I'll come back to that, but I was just thinking, because how often do we have the opportunity to see a pure devotee? I mean, here in the temple they come, but you want more, so I was actually thinking of Tulsi Devi. She's a pure devotee of the Lord, and many of us have her at our homes or here in the temple, so we can, anytime, we can go to her and we can pray. Actually, prayer is another thing that can soften the heart. Prayer, a heartfelt prayer. But then I'm going back to you, saying Brajraj, and indeed, because also in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya, I could find the reference if anyone is interested. It's Lord Brahma is speaking at that point. It's 20-something chapter, and Lord Brahma is speaking, and he says that the Vrindavan, Brajraj is in Vrindavan. He says Vrindavan is so soft due to the mercy of Lord Krishna that is present there. It's so soft. And I personally, I can add to that. Or did you want to say something more? No? I can add to that in my personal experience, visiting or residing in Braj, in Vrindavan, softens the heart extremely. And in two ways, I was thinking about it yesterday, in two ways. Sometimes Vrindavan can be so hard on you that you have to soften up. It will crush you. Like, not crush, but crush you. I remember our dear friend who lives, for many years, lived in Vrindavan, now lives at Radhakund, and she spoke that to us. She was speaking of her experience of living in Braj, and she says, Krishna will crush the heart until it becomes so soft that Srimati Radharani and Krishna can reside there. So Vrindavan can be so hard on one can really cry the worst or the best tears in one's life. I don't know how to call them, like the biggest tears. And on the other hand, Vrindavan, by observing or by some experiences, can be so soft. And that can also additionally make the heart soft. Someone else wanted to add something else? Listening is very nice. That's good. Someone gave me a compliment. Last time I gave a class here, someone said they didn't fall asleep because they were here for the early morning service, and as usually I fall asleep, so I thought, oh, that's good. Class was good. So did you want to say yes?
One thing is chastisement. My senior Vaishnava guru.
Guru. Especially Guru.
No, because that's the one person, you have to accept whatever he says, that's the truth. Others, you might always have
excuse to.
But Guru is far
There
away.
is no excuse, right?
So then, if he tells you something, then you really, question yourself and you go deep inside, and it really opens up.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful, wonderful. And I would actually, maybe that's a good way to close our, to close, because it's 8:30 anyway. But I was actually thinking of all that, or like starting from the first point that you gave, hearing about Krishna, which is also the most powerful, and because Krishna himself will come and reside in the heart. As we hear in the verse from the second chapter of the first canto of Bhagavatam, once the Lord sits in the heart, right, he himself will cleanse. And how will he sit? Because we will regularly hear and meditate upon that. But then what do you do if you don't have desire to hear? What do? It happens. We become overwhelmed by material energy, or life is just too much, and we don't have desire to hear, or we don't have Tulsi at home, or there is no association of soft-hearted devotees around us, or like, what do you do then? That's very, very depressed. They become depressed. And there, I was thinking, I won't ask you now for the answer, but maybe that's an answer that I'm asking you to leave this room with. If you forget everything of this class, which is very likely to happen because we are human and we forget easily. But I would like to ask you, what is your, where do you go? Where do you find that inspiration to hear or to associate or to serve or to pray or to do Sankirtan? For me, right? Where do you find it? Where you don't feel like it? And for me personally, and I will share that answer because you anyway now raised it, love for Guru. If we try to cultivate love for our Guru, because he's so approachable, he's there, he's our closest. What did you say? Yes. So if we try to cultivate, and he's for me, sometimes it's difficult to feel love for Krishna, to tell you honestly. It's difficult because I don't know Krishna that well. That's really? Radha Kripa, really shocking. Just to finish this, but then I'm coming to you. It's difficult to feel love for him. But for my Guru Maharaj, so easy. It's or to go and to serve him. It's so easy. And so hard at the same time, because he can. Guru means heavy, right? The word itself means heavy. So yes.
No, I just want to say that my answer would be the same as yours. Where do you go? I also feel embarrassed sometimes because every time I have to run away to my Guru Maharaj, feel better. And then it's okay, but one day, he's gonna leave. Where are you gonna go then? I have to feel better, so that's my issue with because you have to be not independent and live like that. But
You have to be able to run on your own
but sometimes
steam, Yes. So while our gurus are still here with us, I would say, I personally, because I would also very much like to be more in the personal association of my guru. We always hear this, Vapu is the most important, right? The instruction, following the instructions is the most, Vani, yes, Vani. Yeah, that's where I'm going. So that's why I won't say it's most important. Vani is the most important. Vani is the most, but Vapu, like the personal, if you have the opportunity to personally, menially, with your hands, with your body, to serve your guru, run for it, steal, beg, do whatever, just do it, because from these exchanges, right, with them, or from that service, the heart will soften like nothing else. So while they're still here, we try to do that, but at the same time, we understand, I need to somehow have my guru in my heart, so that even when he's physically not present, that I can contact him in my heart. And as Prabhupada, he replied at one point, devotees asked him exactly the same question. I think he was in India. I wasn't sure if he will come back. I think it was one of those, maybe the first time when he was really having health issues, and he went to India, and they were like, when will you come? And he said, don't worry, the transcendental sound is keeping us together. You chant, and I chant. You chant there, and I chant here, and that is keeping. So we need to also learn. It's a practice. It's an art how to connect to our guru also when he's not physically present, and still at the same time run for that association. Yeah.
I don't remember where, but it's that wherever your guru is, the disciple should run there.
Right. Yes. Wherever your guru is, the disciple should run there. Yes. So,
Don't tell me that. Temple will be empty. Next 5 minutes.
So that's the question that I would like to leave you with. What is that thing that will inspire us to do all these activities, to find shelter in them? What is our ultimate, like help, or, you can think about where we find our inspiration to do all these things. And then still, let us not forget praying for others. Not only for ourselves, but praying for others, as Prahlad Maharaj is doing. Not only that we, as we said, it's the goal, this soft heart, but it's also the practice. We can already now, we can start praying this prayer, as Prahlad Maharaj did, and we can also start praying to Prahlad Maharaj to have these kind of feelings in our heart, where we feel the suffering, right? The pure devotee of the Lord is, what was the Param Dukkha Dukhi, the one who will feel the suffering of others in his heart, and he will feel, like Prabhupada was crying when he saw these people exiting entering the factory. Yeah. Is there any, already more than 5 minutes after, I had a long purport, that's my excuse. Is there any comment or question that you would like to offer here into this assembly? No, that's it. Okay, so I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to serve. If there is anything good and valuable in this presentation, it does belong to my guru. And if it was anything that was offensive or wrong, definitely belongs to me. So thank you very much.
Her grace Radha Kripa Ji ki.
I have strong fire. I couldn't survive. I couldn't survive until 8:30.
Yeah. I have to take iron, and then I have to eat something.
Oh, okay.
But I will show you, and then I'll come.
Anyway, I have to still take a shower because I couldn't not go for the hospital.
I mean,
Okay,
like
good. In 20 minutes or so. Yeah,
just because of this pill.
yeah, sure. Anyway, I would have to prepare myself. So. Where do I bring this back down into the kitchen?
I never did.
No, that stays here.
That stays here. Okay, I'll leave it here. I didn't actually use it. So it's not that someone doesn't see it and then they spill it. So.
Yeah, take out
It was a nice lecture. I was also lazy. I'll make you something inspirational and I did. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, no, it stays also here. Whoops. Do we turn off this mic check?
Just switch it up.
Yeah, there's a button.
There's a button. I don't know, you do.
It's just not there. It's just a
Okay, then I have to have something else to be engaged with my hands. So will you come 11:30 back or?
Well, first I need to cool and then
Okay. Oh, that was so kind of Krishna to give us this spot, parking spot.